Hey, Mr. Way, how are you today? Oh my gosh. Hey, Nicholas. Seek for Sight. Dudes, I was thinking about both of you before I started. Did you feel me? Did you feel it? Should I put a... I'm gonna just put a quick little song. I'm not sure which one. Try not to get myself in trouble. I get these notifications that I don't have an actual strike, but I can't be heard in certain territories and stuff. Okay, let's go silly. Let's go silly vibes. Get the vibes sillied up. I'm just gonna put some cards away.
Hey, witch doctor, give us the magic words.
Walla walla. Bang.
All right. Ooh ee ooh ah, ting tang, walla walla bing bang. Ooh ee ooh ah, ting tang, walla walla bang bang. Ooh ee ooh ah, ting tang, walla walla bing bang. Ooh ee ooh
Oh, cheers.
bang bang. I told the witch doctor I was in love with you. I told the witch doctor I was in love with you. And then the witch doctor, he told me what to do. He told me to ting tang, walla walla bing bang.
Okay, I'm all set up. I'm doing okay. Seek for Sight, Nicholas. I'm still not quite stuffy, but stuffed up. I'm stuffed up. But hey, it's all good. I feel like I talk like a cross between Janice in Friends and Fran Drescher, whatever, in The Nanny. Oh my god, I'm so nasally. I'm gonna go right into some starseed energy. There's the book. Starseed Oracle, Rebecca Campbell and Danielle Noel. If anybody wants a card, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to do random pulls. I'll put my glasses on after I pull a card. Yeah, doing pretty good. How you guys doing? How's your dream time? Oh my gosh, my dream time was so busy. And I slept for like, I think almost 10 hours with like just a little bit of a intermission in between when I woke up a little bit. And like my dream time was so wonky. Like it was so freaking busy. Mountain Rain was in my dreams. Judy. That's the only person that I truly recognized, but there was a lot, like so many other people. I was staying or living in somewhere that was like motel-esque. And by that I mean like ground level, floor level, and a lot of different doors. And at one point, I had been searching for my keys. I had to go somewhere and get them. And then I got into the apartment, the room, whatever it was. And I went outside and I had left the keys inside. And I was like, oh my God, fuck this shit. And I pushed the door until it opened. And I was like, roar, I feel really strong. And then I fixed the door. I went looking for my little set of, just a tiny set of fucking screwdrivers. It was like a tiny set of screwdrivers. Really weird because it wasn't like normal screwdriver. And I was fixing the door so that, okay, I broke it, but then I fixed it. There was a lot of doors in my dreams. What else? I don't know. There was just so much weird stuff. and I was so busy. At one point, I was looking for clothes. I was searching for clothes, some of them that actually exist, and some of them that I don't have yet or never had or probably might never have. But like looking for something to wear because we were going to like this place that I would compare it to a casino, but it wasn't just for adults. And we were going to a show, a live show, and I was looking for something to wear to be comfortable. Anyways, that's just like random stuff, but weird dream energy. And I'm sleeping, when I'm sleeping so deep that it's actually hard to wake up. Like it can take a half an hour for me to like be consciously, my eyes actually even open. And then a half an hour to even 45 minutes till I feel like I'm awake. Like I'm not waking up all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to go. It's taking me a long time to like get back into my body. Thanks, Nicholas. I sound fine. Yeah, it feels okay. Okay. This is honestly, like, knock on wood, whatever it is that we do. It's been like, I don't know, 9 days now for me. 11, 12 for Lily. 12 for Lily. She is counting.
12 days.
I don't think you've coughed since you even woke up, though, have you?
No, I did.
Now she's like, oh, Mom, I did.
No, I did when I woke up.
You did? But it wasn't surreal on the body, but more like the nasally, like snot patrol. Like we gone through like tissues, like whoa. Anyways, okay, first card, weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. And I love the way that she, a feminine energy, you just see her head poking out of the water. There are many times that I've felt where it's like my whole body, everything of me is submerged, but I'm still breathing. Like my head is not like underwater. Whereas other times when I have like that dark night of the soul kind of like timeline coming through me, it's like I'm underwater. I can feel the undertow, like my hair is being pulled down and I feel weighted. But when I'm like this, it's that glorious, okay, like everything's really tough, but I can breathe. I can breathe. Anyways, I don't know if that makes sense. Take what resonates. Weight of the world. The double W's. Boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. You do not need to carry it all. You're no good to anyone if you're running on empty and bogged down by the weight of the world. And boom, the other day, Hamish Bartholomew, I'm not sure if I shared it in my community posts. I can't remember. But he had spoken of, like, let go of the cross, right? That whole carrying the cross, carrying the weight of the world. And that reminds me of that. This card is a reminder to look after your own well-being before anyone else's. Indeed, stay in your lane. It's really important. Stop carrying the world's problems on your shoulders, especially the world's problems that are coming to us through media outlets that is meant to weigh us down and that we stay in that, fear kind of vibration. There's so much going on with censorship and things being blocked when true people live in a country and they want to say, here, this is what's really happening here, right? But especially because we are all connected, if you're feeling like, you see something somewhere and you're wondering, is this really how it is? Then find someone from that country and ask them, right? Instead of just believing anything that's coming up. And that sounds important because the whole Sweden thing, that, it's not my purpose. I don't talk about that stuff, but the whole Sweden thing, I saw a post, and when I went in to look at the comments, somebody from Sweden was actually there, and he's like, this isn't actually happening here, right? This is not actually happening here. Not the way that it's being portrayed. Anyways, put on your own oxygen mask first. That whole plane analogy, right? If something's hitting the fan in the plane, you don't gift your mask to someone else thinking you're helping. You put it on yourself so that you can actually stay, fully alert and then help others more. In these changing times, it is not hard to feel overwhelmed by the state of the planet. However, you can't take on its problems from a place of energetic depletion. This card is thanking you for carrying so much. You want to build a better world and ease the road for others, and that is incredible. But the way you've been doing it is likely unsustainable. This isn't to say you should switch off to the world's problems and become unconscious. Rather, it's a call to establish clear boundaries so you're not constantly taken down energetically. The planet needs you to be healthy, both physically and emotionally. So instead of digesting the news or reaching for your phone as soon as you wake up, show up first as the nourishing practice that you need for yourself, right? Whether it be meditation, soul inquiry, deep breathing, or exercising. And then once you're in a state of grace, your inner is well and full, you can face the day, the state of the world, and care for others. And at the day's end, take an energetic shower by emptying out anything that's not yours to carry. You can pick it up again the next morning if you so choose, but give yourself the time and space to rejuvenate and rest. Boom. 2000 hours UK time re-up. Roar. Welcome UK energy across the pond. I'm gonna get into the magic bus. My magic UK bus. Whee! London babies. Never been to London. Gift from someone who has been. I'm gonna get crystal energy going. The Crystal Spirit Oracle Guidebook, Colette Baron Reed. Hi, Allie Berry. Roar, how's it going? Hey, Genevieve, happy Sunday. Indeed. How are you, sweetie? How much snow do you have? We got a nice pile once it was like plowed, but it doesn't look like a lot because there was so much blowing wind. And we got a break right now where there's nothing, coming down from the sky. But we're under another snow squall warning for the next couple days. Allie Berry, dude, when I entered the room, you were holding the card up, and we sighed at the same time in the same tone. I love it. Roar, I love that too. And when I go into a stream or a video, if I'm thinking or saying or have just said something, or if Lily says something, in tandem with what's on the screen, that's like my best, like, boom, roar, I'm in the right place. I love it. Or if somebody's doing a live stream and I'm like writing stuff in the comment and they're saying like a word or two or even more out loud that I'm writing, that just blows I love it. And I don't get sick of that feeling. In fact, I still will feel that shivery, like, wee, bless you. Snot Patrol, be there on the double. Oh my God. Yeah. And I was thinking after our stream the other day, Allie, the stream that's up in my, on Jackie Fox 333's channel, it's up in the community posts from, I don't know, was it 2 or 3 days ago? I can't remember which day it was. I think it was Friday. I was thinking about when all of a sudden I started to feel like a grief and a sadness, and I saw fire, and I was saying something, but choosing my words wisely because I knew I had to be delicate, and then saying something about, getting rid of things that we don't use or don't need or that are weighing us down, and that truly, if we had a fire, what are the top things that we would have wanted to save, right? And then boom, someone mentioned that in their reality, someone close to them, they had just had a fire, and the way that I felt that grief come into me that I knew was not mine, but I still like have that just like whoa, when those things happen, like, I know I'm powerful, I know I'm strong, I know I see certain things and feel certain things, but it still blows me away every time. Anyways, I don't even know if I make sense. I'm not quite sure. I'm not here to make sense. I'm here to just show up and gather us. You either get it or you don't. That way, excuse me, Allie Berry says, we do have snow. It is very cold. It's pretty darn chilly out there too for us. I'm not quite sure what the exact supposed temperature is. I haven't really looked, but it's chilly.
Minus 13.
Minus 13?
It was minus 15 earlier.
With the wind chill factor, is that how it feels? I love how the weather is now these days, eh? It is minus 13, but it feels like minus 28.
Mine doesn't say it.
No. Allie Berry, I'm so thankful we could all connect together on Jackie's first stream together. Thank you, Jen. It feels like everything in perfect timing. Yeah, sweetie. There's parts of when we were streaming too where I could just feel that, like, deja vu, meant to be, been here before, saw us doing that. Allie, it was amazing. You were flowing. I think the things you said helped so much. Yeah, I got a little bit of validation afterwards where Jackie, you know, texted me that the one specific person had said to reach out and really thank me again, and it was just like, wow, thank you. Bonjour Alex, comment ça va? Good evening peeps. How's Romania today, tonight, this evening for you? It is 15:10 Eastern time. Hi Jim Davidson, how are you today? How's your year so far, honey? Rawr. Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming in. Oh, 2. Okay. Okay. That crystal that you asked me about the other day, I think it might be citrine. I can't remember, Allie. And there's a part of me that's being hard on myself because I can't remember. And it's just like really weird to have a crystal that I knew the name of, and then all of a sudden it's just like, duh, I don't know what it is. But yeah, it's either citrine or orange agate. But I can't. And I want to get back to the farmer's market. Yesterday was just too yucky out to go for a walk to get there. And I was wondering if people would actually show up for it. We have an indoor farmer's market here in North Bay in the winter, so we're really super blessed. But I was thinking, like, really, me and Lily trying to get there and the storm energy, how many people are actually going to be there today, to ask my lady who makes the stuff that we choose to get sometimes. You doing good, Jim? Right on. Allie Berry, that made me chuckle. I can relate. Don't be so hard on yourself. I thought it might be citrine. I think it is. And sometimes it's like that thing of like, damn, if it's not, that's what it is for me today. Lily will check for me. She's got more of retaining information too. Just my little tech support. That way, plus 14 or minus 14 that way. It's 24 now, sunny and nice. Plus 24? Oh my gosh, you're practically in the Caribbean to me. Yay!
I think they mean Fahrenheit.
I don't know, I don't do Fahrenheit. Allie Berry, I've been carrying around citrine since yesterday. I found a stone I hadn't even taken out of the bag. Well, boom, citrine and rose quartz are the two that came out. And the numbers are 17 and 48. So I'm going to start with the citrine, joyful expressiveness, exuberance and happiness, letting go of any and all negativity. Now is the time for you to be you and to experience the tremendous joy that is available to you. With all of the hard work you do to overcome your old patterns, heal the wounds of the past, forgive yourself and others as you walk the healing path, you might find you have forgotten just how to have a little fun and laugh. So be happy today. Citrine Spirit is here to amplify the joy in your life. And boom, when I was like, oh, should I play a song? I've been on for 20 minutes. At the beginning of the live stream, I was like looking through and I was like, I'm going to put a happy, like joyful song. And I put like the Witch Doctor song, right? Ooh, ee, ooh, that silly vibe, silly song giggles. Knows that energy. Citrine Spirit is here to amplify joy in your life. Feel it, express it, as if you are broadcasting it to the entire planet, because you are. Indeed, our thoughts, our energy is what the collective energy is, right? It's not outside of us. It's not they and them. It's all of us. We are one. However serious life might feel, the conscious universe really wants all of us to have fun. So you are doing an important work when you exuberantly share your joy to the world. Roar, joy to the world. Jeremiah was a bullfrog, was a good friend of mine. Make time for pure playfulness and joy today. Relationship message. In our relationships, we work to build foundations of love and trust. And one way to do that is through simply spending time together, having fun. Do something with someone else, some activity that you enjoy or that neither of you have ever tried before, and that will make your hearts happy. Being adventurous can be fun, even if the experience doesn't turn out quite as you expected and rain insists on falling on your parade. Yeah, that feeling of going out on an adventure and getting lost. Are you truly lost, or did you just find a path you were meant to be on so that you can realize that you're not always in control in this universe, and that by letting go of the control, right, you can find some magically delicious places or experiences or people. Some of my best road trips ever, or even just like something that wasn't supposed to take so long, going somewhere, but then being detoured and going down a certain street, seeing certain synchronicities, or having to stop and ask, like, where the fuck I be, right? Where the fuck am I right now? One of my most, like, surreal experiences I ever had was crossing Canada and being in Saskatchewan, and we were on purpose, right, not taking the main highways to be able to see, like the way it is in Canada, and what I do believe in the United States as well, right, is that all highways have been diverted to one big main highway that has, like, you know what I mean, like these big corporations, franchises as truck stop areas and things like that. But when you take the side highways that used to be there 20, 30, 40 years ago, or even more than that, you're going through little towns instead of diverting them, right? And you're seeing more. There's so much more to see. Anyways, so this one time I was in Saskatchewan and we had taken a side highway. I don't remember the number. I wish I did. And it was the middle of the night because we were traveling when we were awake and felt like it, right? Traveling like wolves, not at a certain time. And all of a sudden, boom, the highway ended. Yeah, there was no left way to go or no right way, and there was no way forward. The highway, the road, which, you know what I mean, like small dirt road kind of, it wasn't dirt road, it was paved, but it just ended. That's it. There was no warning 2 kilometers ahead or even whatever ahead saying, like, hey, you know, if you're going somewhere, you should maybe turn around because there's no fucking highway ahead of you. And it was that thing of just like, what the fuck? How can this even happen, right? But it did. And it was like that, okay, turn around, go back until there's some other road that leads somewhere. But the feeling of like, whoa, now one place has ended. Are we going to turn around, choose another road? And that one's not going to exist either, right? It was awesome. Anyways, I love Saskatchewan. I will shout out Saskatchewan anytime I can. Okay, where was I? Being adventurous can be fun, even if the experience doesn't turn out quite as you expected, and rain insists on falling on your parade. Intend to find something funny and positive in whatever you do today. and joy will be your gift, magnified by the power of citrine spirit. Remember, your joy encourages and inspires others to let go of their sadness and cynicism. So don't hold back and radiate happiness. Crystal Spirit Meditation. Citrine is a stone that teaches us how to create abundance by taking action from an enthusiastic, heart-based space. It helps us to recognize the value in all that we have, teaching us gratitude and the lesson that true abundance is not about monetary worth. That way, you was talking in Fahrenheit? Yeah, that's what I thought.
What's 21 in
24, he said.
24?
And Rose Quartz is the other one that came out at the same time, right? So amplify the joy, and then Rose Quartz is guiding us to self-love, self-worth, being enough, and worthiness. When Rose Quartz Spirit appears, you're called to pay attention to one of the most wonderful creations the conscious universe has ever brought into being. You, right? Have you forgotten how beautiful you are? You have many strengths and a unique set of qualities that will be like magical superpowers as you walk through the healing path.
Minus 31.
What? It's minus 31 with sunshine? Rawr, that way. Cuddle up, buttercup. Rose Quartz.
Wait, no, that's minus 24.
Come on, Googleicious. Step up. Rose Quartz Spirit has come to remind you of your soul's worth. Many people will benefit simply from
Minus
knowing.
4.
Oh, minus 4. You can handle that way.
That's fine. That's
You-
summer weather for us.
Dude, that's summer weather. Your snot don't even freeze at minus 4. It's fine. Well, it will eventually, but not right away. Oh my god. Okay. Where am I? Okay, I'm gonna just start over from where I was. Rose Quartz Spirit has come to remind you of your soul's worth. Many people benefit simply from knowing you and being in your presence, drinking in the love that radiates from your heart. Trust that the conscious universe is there to fill you up with the power of love. Oh, damn, Celine Dion just came into my head. Boom, the power of love, blah, blah, blah. She wasn't even the original singer, but I got Celine Dion version. Ooh, Huey Lewis and the News, too. Didn't they sing about the power of love?
Maybe. I don't know.
Fill up with the power of love whenever you need it, and remind yourself that you are worthy of all that you seek. For you are an exquisite expression of divinity. What a powerful and one-of-a-kind source of healing love you are. Relationship message. We are conditioned to forget how amazing we are. When Rose Quartz Spirit shows up, it's because now's a time for being aware of how quickly we forget our beauty and our worth. Have you been falling into a comparison trap and convincing yourself that you're not good enough and that you have to work hard to deserve what you want for yourself? And no, let go of that scarcity mentality. Comparing yourself to someone else should only be done when you want to identify those matching inner strengths of yours that you wish to amplify so that you could experience more love and prosperity. That's important. Everybody's life look like it's so fucking on social media, right? Not many people showing up saying, I had a shit-ass day, I cried all night, I feel like a piece of turd. They're showing everything like, looks good and all that stuff. And I forget who it was that I saw, and one of his quotes or things that he said was, when you see somebody show something on social media, sometimes it is because they're feeling wonderful, everything's amazing, but a lot of the times it's exactly when they feel like they need to be seen. It's that day that, you're showing that picture of yourself when you were feeling good, and you would wish that somebody sees something inside of you. And I remember years ago, I had reached out to someone who had shared images of herself and, you know, like the makeup, the beautiful life, and everything. And I had written her a direct message just saying, like, I see you. And, you know, I forget how I worded it, but I said something that when she wrote back, it struck a chord where she said, this isn't how I'm feeling right now. I just needed for somebody to see me today. And it was that thing of, yeah, you know, I find that on days when I feel the most like bleh and shitty, if I can look and see someone else's energy in a way that comes from the heart, not from the eyes, it's a game changer. Anyways, I'm going to leave all that at that. Today's a good day to connect with what you see and love in others. And feel the presence of those attributes within yourself. Remind yourself that the times when you have been strong, smart, playful, and confident, whatever the quality is within you, know that you have all that you need, and you will see your relationship reflecting that you are worthy of what you desire. Oh, excuse me. Rose quartz is often identified with romantic love, but this beautiful stone, in fact, encourages us to experience love in its myriad of forms. Rose quartz encompasses all expressions of love, including self-love. Meditation with this stone brings the knowing that we are part of this loving frequency, and we are perfect, and we have always been. Damn, Alex! Oh my gosh, me loves you, dude. Weird card. It looks like a penis. Well, yeah, Alex, I'm going to say I have not seen one of those in a heck of a long time, but that is not what the tip looks like to me. But hey, I've only seen, like, you know, from this part of the world. I'm not sure about Romania and Tasmania. Transylvania. A bit pointy. Feels more like a pen, but hey. Lily's, you just made Lily okay. Okay, adults, you're not cool right now. And it's that thing of, you thought I would not look at that comment, but I will go there. I did. I got there. All the masculines looking down at themselves, say, and you got any comments there? I'm so sorry. Not sorry. I just made 2 people blush and they ran out of the room.
Am I at least one?
Lily's one. Yeah. Nowhere to go, eh, honey? You'll hear me no matter where you go in the house.
Actually, I can put my headphones on.
Aw, that's mean. Don't put your headphones on. Block me out. I'll tell Alex to be more discreet.
Or detailed.
Ellie Berry, I was just spending time in Blind Cube stream. I don't know how I came across him. He streams from Alaska and he plays music. He has amnesia. Whoa, he's so kind. He lives in the moment and flows. So much snow in Alaska. Roar, honey, if you feel like sharing that would be so cool. I've never gotten to Alaska. I lived in the Yukon as a child. Alaska's always been like a wild, wild dream of mine. But because that Yukon energy, like it's just a line, right? That is really non-existent. I have experienced like true north Yukon. It's one of the places that I wish I could get to, and a part of me tried a couple years ago. Oh my God, 2019. And it's funny because I met someone a couple months ago and we were having a conversation, and he had been across Canada and he was speaking to me about Whitehorse in the Yukon and what the energy was like there, and everything inside of me was just like, I got validated of why when I wanted to get to the Yukon, just me and Lily Rose, that everything said no, no, no. Right? You are not going there. And it was like it was like a beautiful revelation and validation, because there's so much talk about manifesting the life that we want and the things that we desire for ourselves, but there's a difference between what our mind wants and where our soul and what our soul wants and needs for ourselves. And how, you know, the saying that we are always protected, and when we want something, it doesn't manifest, it doesn't happen, and how yucky that feeling can be, because this is what I wanted. But when you get the validation of like why and how you were actually protected from something so surreal, I don't know if that makes sense. I think it does. Like the hindsight being like, you know, like 2020 of why certain things don't work out, and the beauty of getting the validation, even if it is like 4.5 years later, to really understand that I wanted to get to a place because of what I remember of the energy as a child. But there are places right now that are like very dark energetically, and that I'm going to be straight up, you know, and this is something that spiritual people don't talk about a lot, and I think that they don't take into consideration, like, you know, the whole like one woman alone or single mother alone, and that there are places that it is not safe for us to be. It is not a community that is going to, you know, like, we welcome you and you're going to find your soul family, that we are protected from certain energy basins, ley lines, and grid lines where it's not safe, right? And that whole mentality of like, oh, you know, in a perfect world, everybody would be naked. And it's like, fuck, we are not even at the point where men and women can communicate without there being like the whole MK programming, the whole like bullshit in between. Could we keep our clothes on for another couple fucking years until, you know, we can look each other in the eye and speak and connect, right? Like, no. Anyways, Tickle resonates, leave the rest. Alex says, I would never get anywhere. There's only one highway in Romania, and even that one is incomplete. Yeah, that way. When the snow, right? It's like isolates. It's like insulation almost, that when you got that beautiful sunny day with no wind, it does not feel so cold. I get what you're saying. It's nice out in the sun, no wind. It feels warm to me. You got sunny too, Allie Berry? That's awesome. I have a hooded, clouded over, there's like a film over the sun. It's not, we don't have direct sunlight today. You still are having the wind? Our wind slowed down, I would say, in the early morning. Hey, Pearl Jones, I would love to grab you a card, sweetie. That way. Mine certainly does not look like that. I'm not gonna say the word to just not make Lily cringe again. She knows what I'm talking about, but I didn't say it. Okay, Delaney, Pearl Jones, sweetie. He's going to grab from Asha Frost, the Sacred Medicine Oracle. Alex says, from a distance, it's easy to see something else that way. Yeah, especially without glasses and stuff. Alex says, unfortunately, almost nowhere is safe these days. Yeah, there is safety within what's not safe around. I can honestly say that's what the last 3 years have been about for me, right? Bullets can be flying, I'm gonna be protected. There can be, guns and stuff all close, guns and roses, but, there can be break-ins and all this stuff, but we are still protected. But overriding that fight or flight, the instinct, is surreal, right? If where I was in America, and a grown-ass man that was like 6'4", he'd be having his gun beside his bed with the bullet in the chamber, with what can go on close by, right? And so, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna just leave that at that. And unfortunately too, Alex, I said I'd leave that at that, but I'm gonna just throw one more little snippet in, is small towns and beautiful like rural regions are just it's all about the opiates, right? The fentanyl and certain drugs right now. So the hidden gems, the beautiful places, they're not necessarily safer right now. They're so, you know what I mean? The C word has not been the actual pandemic in the last years. It's drugs, and that's that, Alex says Romania is not even no longer the same. We too are beginning to resemble the Western world. Yeah, and sadly that's not a compliment. You know what I mean, to the Western world. It's not good stuff. It's very fucking yuck. Anyways, we are here to create our little pockets of heaven. Nothing is actually as it seems. Everything is happening for a reason. Keep saying that till you believe it, right? Delaney Pearl Jones, here we go. Raw Delaney, this card, I love the artwork by Steph Littlebird. It's simple, but at the same time, it's just like, it's just raw. That mountain-esque, the cliff edge energy with the warrior that's just standing peacefully. Arrows, bow, arrow energy has been a lot of my synchronicities. I dreamt, I don't know, at the beginning of January, I dreamt that someone was gifting me a handcrafted bow, and it was fucking beautiful. And it's part of my wishes, right? My something that I want is a wooden bow, handcrafted. Like, right? It's part of what I want inside of me. I will wait to find, or the one that's mine, and not get something else until that comes into my life. So in my dream time, I was being gifted a bow, but it was bigger than me. It was like over 6 feet tall. And I looked at the person and I was like, it's so beautiful. It's perfect. But how do you expect me to use it? I'm not a giant, right? He's just little. I was like, even if I wanted to, I would need a ladder to get up and, pull back and to use this. And I was very just like in awe of the actual bow, the craftsmanship of it, the being gifted something, but it was decorative, right? And as we were speaking and as I turned around, the bow turned into a type of snowmobile, a snow machine, where I looked at it and the bow was still there, but then the bottom became a snow machine. And I was like, oh, wow, I can use that. And I remember in my dream, I jumped on the snow machine. I was just like, whee! Just like the way that I would be in real life. Anyways, random dream, but feel to bring it up. I think that many of us are dreaming like stuff that can be so weird. And the more that anyone can say out loud and kind of share certain tidbits can help other people have recall. And sorry, I just need to fix my screen so that my battery doesn't deplete too fast. And as well is that, we're dreaming of so many different people in our dream time. So I do imagine one day that, I'm either writing my dream out and sharing it or saying it out loud, and somebody would be like, I was in your dream. I remember being there, right? That's where because that's where we connect first. The same way where I've spoken about this over the years is how many of us that have already found each other, that I found you, you found me, I dreamed of you since I was a child, right? And some people, it wasn't your actual, face. It was your voice that I heard in dream time. That was a part of my life forever, right? So long. And so hearing somebody's voice for the first time that you actually dreamed of for a long time, how amazing that is to find, right? Our dreams, I believe, are like Stephen King, The Stand, and Swan Song by Robert R. McCammon. I've not watched those movies. I've only read the original books. But in those two books, and they're fiction, that is how people found each other was through dream time. And I always took that as that energy of that's how it is for me too. And there's real life, right? Like nonfiction books that speak of this as well. I just use those because they were books that helped me on my journey. Okay. So, Delaney Pearl Jones, I'm going to get into it. Oh my gosh. Card 49, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 49 is 13, 13 is 4. 4 is the door. Peaceful warrior, potency. In times of upheaval and chaos, we often need the fighters and defenders, but we need those who carry a steady and open-hearted presence even more urgently. This is what is being asked of you at this time. When you think of an archetype of a warrior, what comes to mind? And can you align with this vision for peace and unity? You are handed a spiritual weapon to wield with compassion and discretion, for you can hold fierce power and harmony simultaneously. You are asked to take a stand as an ally for those in need in some way. This might be voicing your truth, or tending to others. Please know that the potency of your love is what's needed, for it ripples out far and wide. And it's time to rise into this version of yourself, knowing that you make a difference. While there are many who armor up for battle and fighting, this will not be the best use of your energy. The world needs a gentle spirit, remembering that softness is strength as well. Sink into your role as a peaceful warrior and know that as you walk in this way, you're so much more than enough. And remembering that softness is a strength too. Here's a fun fact. I don't do well with tough love, right? I don't. I had tough love my whole life. It's softness and gentleness that actually helps me to open up, to learn, and to grow. There are certain people that I resonate with who speak from a perspective of tough love. But the reason that I can listen to them is because they also show their vulnerability and their gentleness. So they might make a video and speak like, two. But that doesn't feel like tough love. It feels like just less sugarcoating, right? Because I don't listen to a lot of like unicorns and sparkles and rainbow people, right? That's too over the top for me. So speaking without guile with humility that comes from a place of the heart, from having lived and experienced certain things, not mincing words and, putting it so over the top that it doesn't make sense. But if somebody comes to me, you know what I mean, or tries to get me motivated by, like, challenging me in certain things, and it's like, that don't work with me, right? That doesn't work with me. You want to challenge me to something? I don't take that challenge. Like, go find your people, right? Anyways, take what resonates, leave the rest. I hope there's something in there, Delaney Pearl Jones, that resonates, honey. I'm going to grab that channel, Allie. Thank you so much. I need a newness through, like, what I watch and what content, that I have that comes up in my algorithm. So thank you. Ali Berry, he solved 3 Rubik's Cube between playing the piano and going outside to smoke. Roar. I ain't a Rubik Cube girl. I was proud if I could just do 1 in a day. I'm exaggerating, but still. That's super cool. I like watching that, though. Ali says, that's awesome. The giant transforming bow. Yeah. Alex, you're lucky you're not a carpenter and you don't miss a finger, Genevieve. Gosh. Yeah, I know a lot of people who are missing little parts or a lot. How would you ask for 5 beers? I don't drink beer. Ew. Ew, ew, ew. Yeah, that woke people kind of thing. I get what you're saying, Alex. I don't even call it that anymore. I call it the spiritual hijack, right? That type of energy that, is bypassing. And it's funny, I was thinking about that earlier of, disclosure is so much more than the government, Hollywood, blah, 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 all this stuff. A lot of disclosure is about, like, the spiritual hijack and certain, people who have made, like, mega profit from, putting out content, pumping out books, and even stuff like that with the intention that looked pure, but that really wasn't, right? And all of it does serve its place, though. And when you're someone who can truly take what resonates and leave the rest, within even the most yuckiest stuff, sometimes there are seeds that are gifted to us that we can tend to and help them grow. And one of them being, stay in our own lane. Over the years, I've seen channels who are trying to expose other channels for who they really are. And it's like, fuck, me already knows this. Why don't you focus on your journey and show me who you are? Because there's a vindictiveness as well to wanting to expose others. You know what I mean? And I say this, and I believe there's people who it really is part of their purpose. They're serving their mission. It doesn't feel as vindictive. But there are other people, it's like, bitch, you haven't done your inner work. You can say you have, but you haven't. And you're just like out for blood, right? Wanting other people to be exposed when, fuck, work on yourself, right? Anyways, it is what it is. Everything does serve a purpose, whether we like it or not. LOL, beer, ooh. I've never really liked beer, Allie. Like, it's not a thing inside of me. And I've served enough of it and smelled enough of it in my lifetime, right? I remember after working, sometimes, I would spill beer on myself or something would happen, and I would smell worse than a customer who was, had been drinking. And I would think to myself, like, oh my God, if I get stopped tonight, like, I need for that well, first of all, I'm ready to blow into a breathalyzer no matter what, right? My bar days, I wasn't the drinking girl. I was the mama bear who stayed sober for real. And I remember one time I did get pulled over, and I looked at the guy, the cop, and he looked at me and he's like, "Did you just finish your shift?" And I was like, "Yeah, I smell really bad." I was like, but I was like, "If you want me to do a breathalyzer, I will. I've always wanted to try one." And he was like, "No, I won't waste our time. I know you're tired. Get home." And I was like, "Thanks." Because, they patrol the area, they see the cars. He knew I worked there, stuff like that. But anyways, hi Simon, Siko 222. Hi Jen, how you doing? Alex, that's not good for anyone, for women nor for men. Wow, 2 cards again. I'm pulling. I'm not even pulling. Double cards are just like wee falling out. And this one got 17 and 47. The Fates and Go the Distance. We'll get into the Fates first. I'm going to go with the 1-7, 17. Raw, anything you want to talk about here, Simon? Not doing good, if I'm honest. Is there anything you want to share and have witness with us? I know I've not been present in my exchanging energy through text and stuff, but we were for 20 days immersed with healing past family during Christmas, and then as soon as we got back home, we've been sick, as you can hear from my snotty nose. So yeah, struggling real bad to keep going. Roar, sweetie. I'm gonna share a video from a masculine. I'll get it. Hamish Bartholomew. He speaks of just, certain things for the masculine. And when I say masculine, it's the masculine in me as well. That a lot of what he was saying really resonated. But we are at an apex of certain things, right? We're at that, many people have referred to it as we're in another dimension. Our minds still have to catch up. That the curtains have been lifted is another expression. But yeah, this video and the one before it, he speaks really of how, the feminine is what's been, I don't have the words or talk how he talks, but how really it's just the masculine is going through it right now. Anyways, okay. Alex says you caught the disease. It's just a cold. I don't believe in the whole other stuff. From Lily. On some level, yes, but no. During Christmas, first of all, there was a lot of healing, a lot of integration, a lot of being with other people. That's not something that's been common for us in the last 2 years. But I intook a lot of sugar. You know what I mean? Like I was still drinking water, but I drank some wine and I ate a lot of, compared to someone else, not so many sweets, but for myself, right? And in Quebec, it's like sugar pie that I was like eating, or like, sugar cream with chocolate cake. So it's not like, like it was like intense sugar intake for, again, if compared to someone else at Christmas time, and plates and plates, or like portions and portions, what I ate was not a lot, but for myself, you know what I mean, it was enough for my immune system to be like chock full of sugar and need the purge. As well, we have not been truly sick in 3 years, the both of us. right? So what needs to come out, right? That whole purge, detox kind of energy. I'm not one to do certain detox things. I prefer that my body does it naturally, right? So I don't do cleanses and certain things like that. I trust my body to do it when it needs it. Yeah, Alex, like definitely way more sugar than usual. Like, so, you know what I mean? It's not surprising. Plus, the weather was like, hovering around 0 or +1 or 2, and then all of a sudden went back to like -10, -15. So factor all of that, and it is what it is. I feel like it's needed, like that purge. Yes, Allie, honey, on the other hand, is very good for us. Everything in moderation. Exactly. And I made this water a couple days ago and I really let it infuse. I put honey, sea salt, a part of a lemon, a lot of chunks of ginger, and celery. And right now, it's like the most delicious thing ever. I made it 2 days ago and just kept shaking it up. And usually I'll make it and drink it right away, and it doesn't have the time to infuse the flavor and that potency. It's so freaking good. And I'm one of those people, like, I'd rather make my own flavored water, right? And celery is my go-to, and parsley are my favorites. Thank you, Allie. Says hugs Simon Siko 222. Just one breath at a time. We are not our thoughts. We are only experiencing them. Boom. Thank you, Allie. Exactly those words is what Hamish Bartholomew speaks of in the video, right? The letting go of the thoughts. They are not. That's not us. Love you, sweetie. Oh, Simon, I think that could even have a factor in it. I have not been looking after myself. I might need the detox. Yeah. Yep. And the thing too that I noticed over Christmas, whatever the time span that I was away from here, and having wine and stuff, I wasn't even sleeping that good, right? So how wine can help you fall asleep or whatever, but it was like fuck, I didn't sleep hardly at all. There were nights, and the cat was sleeping in the same room as us with nowhere else to go. So if he was roaming, I was awake. Roman, my little Roman candle. If he was roaming. Roman Empire. If he was roaming in the bedroom, scratching at something, or even in his cat litter, or even, you know what I mean, it would wake me up. And so for the whole time that we were there, I rested well, but never like, you know what I mean, like, whoa, a super like long nights. So we'd get up sometimes at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, but I had been awake for 2 to 5 hours sometimes in the night. That's not a solid sleep time. You know what I mean, Jelly Beans? Okay, so the 2 cards that came up was the first one, 17, the Fates. I'm going to go with a little bit of self-love here. That loving hug. And that thing where if we need touch to hug ourselves, right? That self-hug, instead of wishing someone else will just come and, give us energy, giving energy to ourselves with that self-love hug. And how touching your shoulders, or wrapping your arms around yourself as best you can and giving yourself that love and that energy is so like, it's a game changer. When I learned to cuddle myself, right, or to wrap myself in myself when I went to bed, instead of wishing someone was with me, giving me energy, right, and really giving me energy, it means I'm a fucking vampire. I want someone else so much to come and hug me and love me that, what am I, a fucking energy vampire? It's not pure, right? We need to give ourselves physically and emotionally the self-love before we can really, exchange it without it being a codependent pattern. Yeah, the looking after self, especially after the Christmas stuff, right? So even if we didn't participate, do certain social things, sometimes that's even worse because we were doing certain things alone, or, by getting into a disciplined type of routine that's best for self. No one's magically going to come and save us and love us and make our life easier or better physically or emotionally. It's ourself, you know? The fates, fate, karma, acceptance that there are things you cannot change, and knowing what those things are. The Oracle's message, the Serenity Prayer, sums up the meaning of this card. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There are things in life you will never have control over. The conditions brought on by the evolution of the collective, by nature, and by your past experiences might feel fated and preordained by spirit for a greater purpose that you cannot understand at this time. And it might not even be in the cards to understand why certain events happened. But you can accept the mystery and work with what those events and your current circumstances have to teach you. This is the wisdom contained in the Serenity Prayer. And again, how Ali wrote earlier, I love the way you worded it. We are not our thoughts. We are only experiencing them. When our thoughts are constantly asking, why me? Why is this happening to me? Right? Why? You're not going to get the answer that you want. And often you did get the answer, but you don't want to hear it. Right? Because the actually assuming accountability for why me am I being treated this way, not everybody's ready to look at themselves in the mirror and realize and take accountability for why, right? But asking it over and over of the universe and yourself is just, it's like you got a hamster in your head and it's just like, right? You got to stir shit up and get those thoughts out and bring up other thoughts that come from the heart and the soul. Relationship message. Other people are who they are. You cannot change them. Other people are who they are. You cannot change them. One more time. Other people are who they are. You cannot change them. Arr. And the challenge is to accept them as they are and not try to make them otherwise, to suit yourself. This is a time to look at how you attempt to mold people to fit in your view of how you think they should be so that you can remain in a relationship and avoid discomfort. What if who they are and whatever is happening between you and them in this situation is perfect from the perspective of spirit? Now is the time to accept what you cannot change, even if it means that you honor yourself, spirit, and the other person by moving on. Love unconditionally, for each of us is on our own journey, and we cannot direct that of another. Be aware that this relationship is fated, and you are meant to evolve into a better version of yourself as a result of it. And this is so fucking hardcore to hear when situations are not good, right? But this is exactly where we've been programmed to believe certain things. If you love me, you will change. If he really loves me, he will do this for me. If she really loves me, she will do this for me. Or when you're not in a relationship with someone anymore and she is evil, she is against me, he is bad, he did this to me, right? It's not getting us anywhere as a collective, guys. And that's all I'm going to say about that for now. Protection message. It's difficult to understand why painful things happen to good people. Fate is a mystery after all. Yet what we do with our circumstances, the way in which we respond to life's challenges, is how we rise up to greet our destiny. Now is one of those times to be aware of your powerlessness to change certain situations and surrender to acceptance. Hang in there. Life will only get better. Act as if you believe that, for the only thing you can change or control is your own attitude. When you align with the fates, being mindful of what you see and cannot change, serenity will come to you. Allie, I got some local honey, dark and delicious. I got a whole quart. Roar. Honey is so different everywhere too, eh? I mean, what those bees are sucking up and doing the work with is so different everywhere. Really, Alex? You're that fast of a fall asleeper? I get up every night to pee at least twice, but soon, and then go back to sleep. 2 minutes and I'm asleep. Hi, Mr. Hugh. How's Ireland energy today, dude? I got Ireland on the brain because of a book that I'm just finishing up. It's not about Ireland or anything, but the main character, it's actually an autobiography. The person speaks of Ireland because of his roots, but he didn't know his roots, so it's kind of cool. Anyways, Alex, for me, honey is brought by the vet. He has bees. That way. Yeah, honey. If you love me, you will tell me the truth, regardless of how it would make me feel. Yes. And I think it was last stream where we were talking about how, you know, I forget the words that came up or exactly what context we were talking about it, but you know, the whole thing of like truth hurts, but it can be said or told with a tone and with empathy and compassion, right? There's a difference between somebody wielding their authenticity, saying, I will talk how I want, this is how I am, and that really they hope that they're cutting people with their little sword and words, right? And getting right to the fucking nuts of it all, instead of it coming from a place of love, compassion, and empathy, right? And that was a little bit what I was talking about earlier too. The tough love, saying something so straight up that it's like, it doesn't matter if it's 144% the truth. You're not going to get me to respond to you in that way, right? And again, it's not about sugarcoating and making it so, right, and beating around the bush, but there are ways to speak from a place that comes from the heart that doesn't feel like an attack, right? I'll give an example. When Amy was a certain age, she had a certain, right, couple best friends that were a lot at the house. And I remember more than one occasion where I would be talking to one of her besties, who I consider my soul child, and I would say something, and like I'm remembering one specific conversation where I'm saying something, and my soul daughter is looking at me, and she's like, you know, my mom says this to me all the time, and I was never able to hear it until you just said it to me this way. And I was like, it's weird, eh? How your mom loves you so much, and the way she's saying it, it can't get into you. And then I just said what I said, and you get it. And she was like, yeah. And how, you know, I use that analogy or that story because being a parent, there's so many things that when we grow up, we realize our mother, father, or other caregivers did have our best interest at heart. But damn, the way they were saying it, fuck you, I won't do as you tell me. Fuck you, I can't even hear what you're saying to me because it's coming from a place of like, rah, 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 right? that thing of when you're really little and you do something, your mother can't find you, for example, and then when she finally finds you, she's like practically shaking the shit out of you. Where were you? I was so worried about you. What the fuck? Like, why are you shaking me? You say you love me and you were worried, but you're trying to kill me. You know? Versus, and that was the mother's fear or the caregiver's fear. But hey, all I remember is being shooken from not being home on time or being told I was like bad or never do this again, instead of from another perspective, right? Anyways, take what resonates, all that shit. In the winter season, I just made a hot coffee, first one of the day. Exactly, Alex. For the honey, it depends on what kind of flower the bees collect, Genevieve. It tastes different, though. Yeah, there's certain honeys from where I live that when I have access to get them, like, it tastes like my land, right? I got a honey the other day, like last week, and I'm going to be really honest. It doesn't matter if it's like organic and blah, 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 and it comes from somewhere that's amazing region. I don't enjoy it as much as other honeys that I bought. And it's what, because that's the thing, eh? Oh, 100% organic, and then, yeah, you don't know where you know where your bees have been, right? If they're right at your next door neighbor's house and they're spraying Miracle Grow and all that shit and whatever everywhere, you know what I mean? So although the label and where it comes from and they paid for the certification and everything, there's a little to the flavor that I'm not crazy about. Okay, so 2 cards had come up. I'm going to get into the second one, 47. And then I'm going to move around for a little bit. I know that it can be annoying when I step off screen, but I need to blow my nose properly, get my little passage going. And just shake up the energy, because once I've been on screen, sitting, focused for 77 minutes, I need to move around a little bit. And okay, so the second card, it came up at the same time as the Fates. Both of them came up. That sand desert energy, that flag, the checkered flag. I'm a checker flag girl from way back. Checker flag, checker floor, that checker pattern. That red, that white and black racing energy is just, it's a part of my life. 47, go the distance. Now I got that Hercules song in my head, right? Endurance, strength, and the long haul. To bring your dream to life, you must think long term and pay no attention to the fluctuations in your current experience. Joy and disappointment commingle with opportunities, so there is no need to fear the occasional obstacle. Life is not a sprint. This card is a reminder that you have endurance, strength, and fortitude to carry you all the way. Remain true to yourself. Your authenticity alone will keep you in alignment with the energy of miracles. And what is yours will never be withheld from you. Indeed. Right? In these times where we're at, codependency and certain patterns won't work anymore. So you can meet your soulmate, but not even know that they're meant for you because you or that other person has not done the inner work to be able to be in an interdependent relationship that has mutual benefits for both parties involved, and then the greater good of the all, right? Because we can have the whole like twin flame dynamic. I prefer to use divine union, because twin flame, there's been a hijack within that whole twin flame like journey and certain things. So I prefer to use the words divine union. And the world needs love. And examples of couples, right, and whatever the partnership dynamic is, that are an embodiment of an interdependent relationship where gifts are merged for greater good for the all, right? Relationship message. You either are in or you are calling in a harmonious relationship. Boom. Exactly what I was just saying. Well, maybe not exactly, but what I was referring to. You are either in or calling in a harmonious relationship that stands the test of time. The better for worse, as you ride the ups and downs and even strain, break yourself, and are remade into new growth. You are being redeemed by the power of regeneration. Harmony does not mean there will never be a wrong note played, but that the relationship is marked by endurance and a dedication to overall unity. Again, that mutual benefit. Those words keep coming up for me, like either in readings or in somebody saying it out loud or being downloaded. Mutual benefit. A new song can be written, an instrument can be tuned, and the symphony of love will play on. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Isn't it magnificent? And we spoke of this in the last live stream as well, of the letting go of the relationships and the dynamics that do not serve, because there are timelines waiting for you and for others. So by holding on to a partner that you can't connect with, you are not intimate with, you're not even happy with, by letting that person go and move on towards their destiny, right, is it's like a collective sigh of relief almost, right? Because the ripple effect when people truly are in relationships, whether they be friendships too, right, that are pure of heart, there's a ripple effect for everyone, right? Think of when you're at work and what your attitude is and how you speak about your partner. The whole, like, work wife and work husband, where you are more intimate and you talk more to the person that you have at work, that's the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever you are, right? But then you go home and you don't have that energy. Like, ultimately, how even without people like exchanging spit and touching body parts, that cheating yourself and your partner of, you go to work, you gift who you are to someone, and tell them certain things that you never tell your partner. Like, how the fuck does that even make sense, right? But part of it is the whole programming. You watch movies, you read books, people talk, right? There are people who tell their girlfriend, like women, for example, who will tell their girlfriends at work or on the phone or whatever, everything that they fucking can't stand about their partner, but they've never really, right, taken responsibility to try to have the conversation of, I really need to, speak to you about certain things, about how I feel. So everybody in the whole fucking world knows how you feel about something, but not the actual person that is the one that would have the choice to evolve and grow or not, right? And that's never made sense to me. I've always been like really, careful of pillow talk, to the point where when I've separated from my most, longest and precious unions, everybody was like floored because they thought that everything was fine. I didn't spend 5 months telling everybody, oh, this is happening, that's happening, and oh my God, blah, 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 right? So people were shocked when I said, like, boom, this relationship's done. I'm out of here. I'm not going back. We're done. Because I didn't I didn't spend all that time trying to immerse myself in other people. I was busy trying to tell my partner at the time, I need this, or this is how I feel. And I would either be told, like, oh, fuck, I'm too tired, or you talk too much, or, blah, 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 right? And then after, I was like, boom, my heart is done, soul contract done, I'm done. Then, oh, I should have listened to you all that time that you were trying to communicate with me. And it's like, fuck yeah, I tried for fucking a year. You know what I mean? I didn't just all of a sudden feel like something, tell everybody else for a year, right? And not in a nagging type of way, in a way that was trying to be. Let the person be who they are, but speak openly about how I feel, right? Like, oh, whoa. Anyways. And last but not least, protection message. Do you feel as if you've been wandering in the desert now for ages and ages and nothing is happening? And when you conjure up the image of a desert, you picture parched lips, sunburned skin, and mirages. But there's more to it than that. Amid the hot sands are creatures with resilient spirits and tough skins and a willingness to burrow deep underground for water so that they may thrive. This is a time of developing survival skills and resilience. You are learning how to conserve your strength. And in this temporary time of austerity, it's wise to be selective about where you expend your energy. Listen to the calling of your soul, because it will never lead you astray. This is an important time for letting go of what's not important. Allie, I've been buying and using a Manuka honey from Australia every month. I'm not sure if I can't notice the difference yet. It's delicious though. The last card struck chords within me. It's difficult for me to come to terms with poor endings, not being on the same page, especially with those we love. Roar. Yeah, Allie. Yeah. I know what you mean. I find that love always finds a way, and everything that's meant to be will come back like healed and grown, right? Nothing can be messy if we're on the same frequency. And really, when we're not at the same frequency, it's not from a lack of, no one is actually lacking. There's just other people, other things, other places that we're meant to be, you know? The final page is never ending. Ooh, Roar Alley. I used to love to play that Hercules song on the piano. It has an awesome beginning. All of it is good. Yeah. I tend to really like that song. I won't say I'm in love. I forget what the character's name in that movie, where she's like so smitten kitten, but I'm not gonna say I'm in love. I love that song too. I don't care. Like, I just love it. Yeah. Allie says, all of it sounds amazing in theory. Hopefully one day. Maybe I just need more inner work. I love that you say that, Allie, because everything sounds really good in theory, you know what I mean? But it doesn't mean that it's easy or that, yeah. Okay, I gotta move around because now I gotta add going to the bathroom, blowing my nose to the list of like moving my energy and grabbing more water. Allie, are you still here, Allie? I was thinking, I love taking my breaks, guys. First of all, when I've been on for so long, like just sitting up in a chair and, always focused here is like really big for me. Might not look like it because I do it really well, but you know what I mean? It's a lot. So shaking up a little bit, and that blowing nose, I needed that. Felt like a little trumpet energy coming out of me, like whoa. You are still here? Where you wrote, it all sounds amazing in theory. Hopefully one day, maybe I just need more inner work. First of all, the inner work is always ongoing, but every ending and beginning, there is sacrifice and a bittersweetness. So the example of if you're doing a job, even if you know it's time to move on, there's a bittersweetness. You are going to miss certain people. You're going to miss the routine that you had. Many people have met online through the internet and fallen in love in the last whatever amount of years, and one person had to relocate, right? For example, so there's such a bittersweetness to having to leave what you know, what you love, where you thought you were going to live forever and a day, to go across the world, the country, the state, or the city even. You know what I mean? Depending on how people's journeys are. Okay, so some people aren't moving across the world, but moving across a city to a whole other community that you were not aware of, right? To merge lives is bittersweet. There's always a sacrifice when something new comes into our reality. The card earlier that says people do not change. We cannot change them, but people evolve and grow, right? That comes by itself. What's the song by the Eagles where it's like a woman can't take you to where, I forget the lyrics. A woman can't take you, like women aren't evil. They can't take you where you don't want to go, right? When a man falls in love with a woman, and there's a part of him that opens up and becomes bigger than he was, there are choices, sacrifices, things he must leave behind. You don't keep your wonton boy ways and go to the bar the same way. You don't keep your habits the same way, right? And those that do, well, those relationships don't work because the dynamic is not intermingled, right? It is so multi-layered when we have, choices, destinies to follow. And often it doesn't make sense to the ones who love us the most, right? You have a whole family that loves you and cherishes you and that you do spend time with, and boom, you're guided and everything inside of you knows that you're to move and be somewhere else. But this is where everything that we've been programmed to believe about love, and that you need to be beside certain people and live in a certain way and stay in your intergenerational, right? All that stuff. How some people, we're the game changers. We rock the foundations of everybody's world when something comes up in our reality because it's so big that there's a piece missing of us from certain people. But love knows not distance. Unconditional love knows that people move on physically, right? Emotionally. And that's the learning curve. We have not been taught this. Nothing encourages us to know this about ourselves until we're the ones that live it. We are in a whole new dimension of awareness now, whether we're conscious of it or not. And if we want a better world for our future self and the future of everyone, there are moves that have to be made, right? Everybody loves watching a good hero movie, but then when it's time to be the hero and do certain things, crickets. We've seen that in the last 3-4 years with COVID, right? People who believe that they were so strong and so willful, who just caved and took certain things to their body, put certain things on their faces without standing up for themselves and their children, right? They didn't grab the hero role. But nothing's going to change until we as individuals evolve into it. Anyways, that's the thoughts that came to me when I was outside. Allie says, I'm still here drinking delicious Gene Beam. I forgot to go look that up. Flavored coffee. Celery. Allie says, amen, never ending. Exactly. Hi, Leg Kung Fu Shaolin. How are you? I hope I said it right. Welcome, welcome. I fucking love celery leaves. Celery leaves make me happy. Allie says, true that, Jen. Yes, the growth. Sometimes I feel bad for changing and wanting different things. Yeah, me too, honey. And sometimes I feel worse for now seeing it. Thank goodness for divine intervention, shaking up our lives. Yes. Yep. I meant to say sometimes I feel worse for not seeing it sooner. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I feel worse for not seeing it sooner. Thank goodness for divine intervention. And that's the thing, someone was speaking the other day of, if something is meant for you, you're going to be pushed into it if you don't make the choices yourself, right? And how that feels compared to, I'll use John Binney as an example because the other day he spoke publicly and he's part of my 4-hour live stream the other day of, how he, ever since I've known him, he has progressively built up his spiritual business to knowing he was going to leave the corporate world. Right? And I remember last year when he changed the work schedule, downsized the corporate, upsized the spiritual part of his journey, for lack of better words. And how last week or in the last few weeks, boom, that's it. He has given his resignation at work. And remember, you were here, Allie. I asked, like, how much time? And he's like, oh, I've given them ample time, right? So he gave his resignation, but with a big buffer of time. And I was like, wow, that's so beautiful because I don't have that in my past reality where there's all these the planning stages, the knowing, the growing towards something, right? I will just all of a sudden be like I had given the restaurant example the other day. I had looked my best friend in the eye a week before I closed my restaurant. I looked her in the eye and I said, this doesn't feel the same. It's making my heart beat a different way. I feel like I'm going to burst with a heart attack. The adrenaline doesn't feel good anymore. Right? I was super busy today. I should be happy. I should be super satisfied, but it doesn't feel the same. And how, boom, the next Friday, it was like, that's it. I'm done. Right? I didn't give anyone the grace period of growing into the fact that, hey, I realized that I can't keep operating this restaurant on my own. Right? I didn't have the timelines of thinking farther ahead. It was just like, boom, right? And with the hindsight, when I closed my restaurant, a week later, someone pivotal to my family unit, not me necessarily, but to my ex-husband, committed suicide. So I had closed my restaurant, had a week to kind of think about it, know I was doing the right thing, grieve my restaurant, and then boom, the news of something that like shook the whole community happened like right? In ways that the person that I was, busy how I was operating a restaurant, all of a sudden needed to be like the mom with the kids, the mom that was supporting the ex-husband and stuff like that. I couldn't have known that the timing of what I did was so synchronistic for the tragedy that would hit, right? but everything with hindsight looks different than when you're in it. But everything did happen for a reason, and it happened for a reason in a way that made everything simpler, and even if it wasn't easy. Anyways. Bonjour Gunnar, c'est la vie. Bonne année 2024, Geneviève and everyone. Comment ça va, Gunnar? How are you? Allie Berry says, but I did express my unhappy emotions and feelings, and they were not very well received. But I felt I must say them because of the love. Seems sort of backwards because I was addressing negative feelings. Roar. Yeah. But ultimately, they're not negative. They're feelings, right? They're not to be looked at as a perspective of good or bad. It's like that thing of when somebody comes into the live stream and says, I shouldn't chat today. I'm feeling very negative. And then if we ask why, the circumstance of what they're going on in their life, like, holy shit, that's not fucking, like, it's not easy, right? It's hardcore even. But if that person hadn't come in and chosen to say those little things, we couldn't have been their witness the same way if they had not kind of showed themselves a little bit. And really, I feel that when we're not afraid of certain emotions, nothing really feels negative. It's our perspective of it. I don't know if that makes sense the way I'm saying it, but I don't know. If something's triggering you and making you feel like pissy and angry, there's a reason. And when we get to that reason, instead of avoiding it, ignoring it, pretending it's not happening, the sooner the better, the less actual trauma gets built up, right? Like if people actually said, like, right now, how you're making me feel is this, this, and this, instead of storing it, telling other people for weeks and months or years on end, there would be no such thing as certain dramas and traumas in our reality, right? Like if people allowed for somebody to say, like, this is how I feel, instead of not receiving that information, the whole collective energy would be different. Yeah, Ali, he said it was about 6 months or something like that. Yeah. And I can't wait to see the hindsight of John Binny's like experience, because it's like I almost feel who's coming in, who needs that position, right? Of doing what he used to do and is still doing. It's the same as when I closed my restaurant, it then became another entity. I was the last one to operate that building as a restaurant. It became a home. And wow, I just remembered this. It became a home to someone that I didn't know. And all that I knew is that she renovated the inside and made it her home. But when I was at Christmas time at my dad's, one of my dad's like childhood friends was at the cottage. And at one point my dad went off and did something, and he's like, so my ex's daughter bought your building, your old building. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah. It says her name, and he's like, she's the one that has the building now, and she lives in it. And it's kind of like a multi-generational home where if somebody, right, the mom stays with her and someone else is staying with her, but she might leave soon. And like tears came up in my eyes, because it was just like that thing of the woman who bought it after me. I didn't really know her, but she got a home at like a price that, like, holy shit, guys, right? Oh my God, the price she got that building for. There was so much money to be invested in it. She deserved the price that she paid, for real, right? One of the reasons I let go of the whole being a restaurateur is that it was a money pit. There was so much money to be put into it that every time I had a little profit, boom, right? Something fucking busted. Something was broken. Something needed to be repaired or renovated. Ultimately, when I bought it, and had it inspected. Like the electrical dude was like, holy shit, like it's a fucking wonder this stuff is still working, and you are going to have to change this everything over time. And it was like, whoa, right? Like that, when the electrical dude tells you that as soon as, and I remember him looking at me and saying, as soon as, like the day that a breaker starts going for no reason, or two in a row, you need to call me so that I wouldn't manifest a fucking fire. Right? Like that's how fucking old, and nobody had invested in upkeeping the building. So yeah, the full circle. I closed my restaurant October 10th, 2008. And now in, December of 2023, when I was told like who was owned the building, it was just like whoa. And I knew this girl when she was young and little and growing up, right? I didn't know her so much as a woman because I've been gone from the community for so long, but it was just like, whoa, so cool feeling. Alex, they also killed Skywalker, Genevieve. They spoiled my favorite movie, Star Wars. Oh my gosh, guys, I've never watched Star Wars for real. I know snippets, I know parts of it, but I do not know Star Wars for real. I'm one of those people. Yep. I'm one of those people.
I know everything about Star Wars.
You really? You watched them?
No, I was joking. I know
Oh.
nothing about Star Wars.
Okay, I'm like, what? When did you do that? I didn't know. Kiss my grits, Trace B. Hey, sweetie. I just saw that pop up on the bottom of my screen. Kiss my grits, indeed. Did you end up watching Mystic Pizza? Me and Lily watched it, I think in November.
October?
October or November. We watched it last year, the other day.
October?
Gunnar. Nova, me see you.
In November? I don't know.
Okay, I'm just catching up with the chat. Gunnar, c'est la vie, merci. 2024, a year of unity through victories of what's good. Amen. I amplify that. Allie Berry, beautiful. A year of abundance and seeing with authenticity. Yes. Alex, even my blood is positive. I did say it in a way that comes through. Thanks, Allie. Gunnar, c'est la vie, still in France. The shift of the world, a new earth that will come. The Lord will protect its people. Yes. Hey, Emoji King. How's Jack today? Up, up, and away, ascending within. Ali, yes, that is the way of the restaurant business. Exactly. Ali says, my family's restaurant is called the Century House for a reason. It was built in 1870, and the electrical wiring in this place is a disaster. Yeah, my building wasn't as old, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah. Nova, Genevieve called me in. Just a little bit, honey. I've been on for 1111111. Trace B. I meant to go look at a few clips or an episode or two of Mel's Diner just for shits and giggles. I still haven't, though. I've been really immersed in reading. I'm reading like almost a book a day, and then whenever I'm not actually reading the whole book in a day, it's because the print is different, or it's like a longer, juicier book. How you doing, Nova? Gunnar, c'est la vie. Within, in, out. Things will get real, and not just on the inside changes. Exactly. Trace B says, y'all talking restaurants? Yes. And since we're talking restaurants, I have to go do an order for my daughter. I'll be right back.
I'm a paying customer. Oh, I need to kiss. Alright, we'll start here. This isn't medium rare water. Cook it again.
Don't be a testy customer, darling. Allie Berry, we have gone through so many changes in how we built since this place was built. That's awesome, Allie. Nova says, I love Lily joking about Star Wars. Trace B, yes, I watched
Star
Moonstruck.
Wars fan. I was there when it came out.
I was there when it came out. One of the reasons I don't know Star Wars is I was not allowed to go see them when I was little. My mommy wouldn't let me. She thought it was too old and she thought whatever, so I never was able to go see them in real time. And by the time I was allowed or able to watch whatever I wanted, I never understood certain things. Someday I'll watch Star Wars with a true like raw gung ho like person that knows everything, and then I'll be able to do that thing of being explained certain things and see it from that like point of view. Chase, you watched Moonstruck too, then Mystic Pizza? Boom! Snap out of it! I love when she slaps him. I think I love you. Snap out of it. I thought that Cher and Nicolas Cage did an excellent job in Moonstruck. I did. I remember watching that movie for the first time. And Cher, because she had the curly hair, like there's not so many iconic actresses with curly hair. So Emoji King, I just for the first time today seen a video of my brother. Whoa, where did you get a hold of that? Oh my god, Emoji King. Just for the first time today, seen a video of my brother in Vietnam in 1969, just before he was killed. He was handing out toys to children. 1968, you mean? Where did you get that? Oh my gosh, Jack, that's like surreal. My shivers have shivers, dude. What are the chances of finding that? How did you get that? Okay, I'm asking a lot of questions. I'm going to slow down. Answer them if you're meant to. Whoa, dude. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Nova. Alex says, relax, Genevieve. I didn't see the Titanic either. Oh my gosh. I got the Titanic story. I watched it with my husband at the time and half watched. I think I was reading, but I can't remember. And then when I had my restaurant.
It's like 3 hours.
I know. And then when I had my restaurant, my best friend, employee at the time, Mireille, was like, what do you mean you don't love that movie, Titanic? It's my favorite. And I was like, oh my God, I can't stand it. And she kind of made me watch it with her through her eyes, right? And that's why I said earlier, too, watching Star Wars through the eyes of somebody who's like a super fan, how different it is than if you just try to watch something a different way. Okay, Nova. I had a dream lily rose flowers were protecting me from bloody, scary people, but they were just white flowers. But in my dreams, I understood them as lily rose flowers for some reason. White roses have been coming up everywhere for me, like inside of me, more even than exterior. That's a cool dream. Trace B, oh my gosh. He's happy for you. Trace B, it's snowing here and I love it. Allie asks, are there areas of Oklahoma that are wooded, Trace? And Trace says, oh yes, lots of woods. I haven't watched it in so long. I would say since I was probably 25 years old. Oklahoma, the movie. I've been thinking of Gone with the Wind. It's been 2 or 3 days now. I think it started in Corey's live stream the other night. Seek for Sight. I don't know if you're still here, but I forget if Corey said something, but all of a sudden I had Gone with the Wind inside of me, like certain energy, certain thoughts come up. And I was saying how Nicholas, the Seek for Sight, would make a really good Rhett Butler. But ever since I said that and thought of that, even the book I'm reading now mentions Gone with the Wind, and I've had certain synchronicities. I used to read the book Gone with the Wind every 2 or 3 years. Yeah, I was thinking how you'd make a good Rhett Butler. Like if we were, putting on a play or a movie or something, how you would be perfect for that character. And that's a compliment, dude. With jeans, though. Rawr. Right, Nick? With jeans. Allie, it's still snowing for you? Off and on? Yeah. Sorry, I still remember the jeans. mm.
Sorry, that song is stuck in my head now.
Allie Berry, that song had me wondering if it's Oklahoma as a state mainly of the plains. Trace says we had at least 4 earthquakes this weekend and I felt 1. Whoa.
4 earthquakes.
That's a lot.
That's cool.
There was somewhere else yesterday. Last night before I went to bed, I could see Dutch was about to put up a live stream, and it was like in 20 minutes before I wanted to go to bed, and I didn't stay up for it. Maybe it was Oklahoma he was talking about. I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, the seismic activity is whoa, eh? We've had a few like close by in proximity as well here where I am in Northeast Ontario. For real. Okay. Ooh. Denise Lynn, the Sacred Forest Oracle. It was? Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to say his, like, the name that he writes out. I just call him Dutch. Yeah, I feel there's more coming too, guys. Part of me is enjoying the last few days in our stuff because we're going to go back. We're going to go back to the woods soon. And this time when I go, I'm going to pick maybe my 2 to 5 favorite decks, and I'm going to bring them with me so that I can live stream and still have the kind of energy of the cards if I want them. I do love streaming where it's just like, woo, let's just talk. But I find that having the cards is like a tool that I like having as well. Yeah. Okay. Butterfly Spirit Transformation. And she's coming out of a clam, oyster, whatever, shell with a pearl behind her. Card number 8. The shell coming out of my shell. Butterfly Spirit Transformation. In the sacred forest, you can hear the approach before they arrive. Listen, it's the song of the butterflies. Their melody trails behind them in ribbons of luminescent lights as their delicate gossamer wings flutter in a kaleidoscope of color, sound, and delight. Magic is afoot. When you receive this card, you are in the process of change. Old structures, beliefs, and ideas are falling away to be replaced with vitality and new pathways. Soon, you'll be seeing the world in a fresh way. You're at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of a completion of an enormous transformation in your life. Don't hold on to the old structures and limited ways of thinking. And even if it looks as if you're in murky waters and things feel confusing, and even if it seems that everything is dissolved around you, this is only the clearing that occurs just before the rebirth. It's all for your highest good. Remember, you are safe as these changes occur around you. The butterfly is a powerful metaphor for transformation. For it to gain its wings, the caterpillar must weave a chrysalis and then completely dissolve into a kind of liquid soup before reforming into the shape of a butterfly. Enzymes dissolve all its tissues before the metamorphosis into something completely different. So relax into the change. You are bringing vibrant energy into the world. The spirit of the butterfly says the past is behind you. Everything is changing. It's time to launch a new cycle, a new project. With care, miracles can and will abound. Hi, Canna Bear. I'm late for a very important date. Did you get a new channel? Got it. Ooh, I love that flower. And Canna Bear, put user in timeout. Oh my god, I'm gonna press something bad. There you go, Canna Bear. Welcome, dude. How are you? How did your project go the other day? Allie asks, Trace, did everything stay intact, Trace? It's been a long time since I experienced an earthquake. One of the most times that I remember experiencing like earthquake energy was in the middle of the night on January 1st, 2000. The whole hype that the world was going to end or this and that was going to happen. And then I can still see us, you know, me and my ex-husband at the time. And it's just a bit past midnight, 2 or 3 in the morning, I don't know, and fucking and I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, what the fuck? We're speaking in French, so it was more like tabarnak.
There's actually an earthquake on New Year's Eve. On New Year's?
Yeah. Yep.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't know
So.
that part.
Yep.
That didn't help
The timing
fears.
was actually pretty surreal.
That didn't help the fears.
And that's when Amy, I know you don't like when that's when she was conceived. Not in the moment of the earthquake, but in that
Oh,
timeline.
Yeah, like a month later.
That timeline.
Okay. Yummy.
Trace B, as far as I know, all is intact. It was my first experience. Alex, you were the 3rd subscriber on Canna Bear's channel? Canna Bear says, well, I didn't get to the worm farm yet, but I was just thinking about it. Stuffing wool insulation in walls of a little shack today. Rawr. Is it pink insulation or yellow? Or is it another color and I'm just like, always got the yellow or pink in my head? Allie says, wow, growing up in California, there were earthquakes often. I'm glad you're all good, Trace. You know, I did not know that about you, Allie. When you said that the other day, I forget if it was you in one of your streams or if it was with us, me and Jackie, but I thought you were like a Great Lakes born girl. I didn't realize you were like California. Were you born in California? But I didn't know that you know what I mean? I thought you were Great Lakes born and bred, right? That area. I didn't realize. Oh, that's too many. That's cool. Trace B, I felt the vibration upstairs and I ran and went outside. It was a 4.4. Of course it was. The 4-4 energy, eh? Trace B, I didn't know that either. I thought Ohio forever. Same. I was like, whoa. I was born in California, says Allie. I've been mostly in Ohio since I was 15. Wow. That's like gave me shivers. Like, I was born somewhere and then grew up in many other places, and it's like if I would have stayed in any other those other places in a different way, how I wouldn't be the person that I am today. Like for me, one of my things I had to heal in my 20s and 30s was the fact that I didn't have roots. You know what I mean? Like we moved around so much that everywhere can feel like home. There's not one place, you know? And if I would have, you know, been born and stayed where I was born, who I would have been. Or if I would have been like, you know, like when we lived in Edmonton when I was young, if we would have actually stayed there my whole life. And I really realized in my 30s that the whole moving and not having roots is what made me who I am, of why I can connect to so many different people in different ways and have like a seed of something that feels the same, because like the so much movement, right? And how I witness people or hold space from the perspective of nothing lasts forever, right? I didn't get to have childhood friends from childhood the same way that other people did. There's always been, you know, things happen, things change. Things happen, things change. And that's why as well it's easier for me than some, like other people will want to hold on to a timeline, but I know when done is done. I can't hold on to it the same way because it's imprinted in me since I was 6 years old that when you love something or someone, or you're not always going to live close to them. If you love a house and you think that you're going to live there forever, boom, all of a sudden you're not living there anymore. Right? How different my perspective is of material things, even because, you know, there's sometimes we moved and we didn't bring the same beds, we didn't bring the same mattresses, the same bookshelves. I remember when there came a time when we were moving where I was just so happy that we were bringing my same bed. I didn't have to get another one. You know, it was going to be the same. And that might sound weird to someone, but if you grew up with all your same stuff and you don't know what change is, no wonder it's so hard for people sometimes collectively to make any change in their life, because, you know, you grew up in the same house and your mom or dad still live there even if you don't. Like, that's not the same for me inside of me. Oh, that's so awesome, Canna Bear. We have sheep here at the ranch. It's cheap insulation for the chapa. No kidding. And it's much easier to like touch and, you know, stuff the walls with. You're not getting all that yucky toxic shit. That's freaking awesome, Canna Bear. I love it. I like it. I love it. Yes, Allie, the nature, nurture, yep. Culture and environment are a big part of it. Indeed, from like the age of 6 until right certain age, everywhere that we went, they had different accents. They spoke a different way. Certain things were done a certain way in certain areas, but then not the next time we moved. I was exposed to different cultures, but maybe not as much as someone else, because I always did go to like Catholic school. So there were some cultures that, you know, I didn't grow up close to, but within the whole Catholic school system and then the outlying community, there was always a difference, right? 00100 hours, midnight for you, Alex. Right on. How's it feel tomorrow? Happy 15th, Alex. Allie, yeah, same, sweetie. No matter where I've been, though, I've always been weird. Yeah. Weird or different or just, yeah. I think that's a super asset working in public too, right? It's different. Greeting people from, that are from a different province, a different country, a different, different continent is different for us. Canna Bear, I like that. No matter where I go, there I am. Oh, Trace, I was thinking about that last night. You're so brave, honey. I was. So it was weird and cool to wake up to your text, what you showed me, because last night I was thinking about that. Trace B, home is where my heart is, but I sure miss living in my mama's house. And I know I'm not saying it super properly your way, but I'm reading a book where a lot of Southern influence. So a lot of words coming up and just that Southern energy. It's cool.
I was reading Wuthering Heights and
Yes.
the guy's accent. I still have one or two sentences in my notes app that I thought were funny.
Rawr, Alex, I resonate with that too. Home for me is where they feed me. Feed me, Seymour. Heck yeah. Okay, so perspective. There is not a lot to look at on this card. Perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out. Common ground. Take a step back and look at the bigger picture of your life. Step away from the blinkered version and reactive frame of mind of me against them. Change your perspective. Shift your point of view. Zoom out, out, out. We are but a speck of dust in the universe, yet we think everything revolves around us. We see the planet as ours to own and conquer, pillaging the land and setting ourselves up for eventual extinction. We build fences and walls and create invisible borders. Mother Earth doesn't need us to survive. We need her. It's time for us to wake up. A new perspective is urgently needed. I love that because it's so true. Mother Earth does not need us to survive. And here's a fun fact. Cats and dogs and animals, they don't need us either. If everything, right, no humans were around, yeah, some cats and dogs might not make it because we've so integrated into their instinct that they are not allowed to hunt, right? How many people let their cat go outside, but if the cat comes back with a mouse as a gift, that cat is scolded and told, bad boy, don't kill the birds, right? So yeah, it might take a generation or two for certain animals that have been so coddled and humanized, but animals don't need us. I saw a meme or a meme or meme, whatever, yesterday, and it was a city that had built a whole like big thing, like a community of birdhouses. And I was like, what the fuck? What humans actually think that birds need them to build a fucking house for them? Okay, yeah, if you're cutting down all the trees and if you're taking down, right, if you have a shed and a robin has built a nest and you're taking all that down, yeah, they might need some help because you're destroying their habitat. You are leaving them without anything to, to build on. But ultimately, birds don't need you to put a fucking house up. You like that as a human because it can bring the bird energy to you, but they don't need you, right? And humans believe themselves to be like the wisest creature on earth, and because we can think, but we have thought our way into close to extinction, and that's the truth, right? And it's the same with the thinking that technology is so needed. We would be destroyed if we didn't have the internet and all this stuff. And it's like, no, people would naturally gravitate back to basics and actually grow and make their own food instead of thinking that food comes from a box. You ever met a toddler and you know that you realize that they don't understand that there is such a thing, you know, what a chicken actually is? They see chickens in cartoons, they see chickens in commercials, but they don't actually realize that what they're eating out of a box is actually a chicken, right? All that kind of stuff. How even adults, right, truly believe that farming is creating like global warming and farms need to be like eliminated. We shouldn't have farms. I saw like an environmentalist talk about that the other day, how farms are killing the planet. And it's just like, hello? Your fake food coming from a fucking factory, right? Anyways, I'm gonna leave that at that. I could ramble about that for a bit, but I'm not here to like rant. It's time to wake up. A new perspective is urgently needed. We become so lost in our individual experience that we don't realize that most of the things that keep us awake at night are actually just distractions. We're wasting precious time and resources fighting each other when we should be coming together to heal what's been severed. This moment is a breath in the timeline of your life. This life is a fleeting moment in the tapestry of your soul's experience. Your soul's experience is a flash in the timeline of the known universe. And the known universe is a grain of sand in the unknown universe. Take a moment, see the big picture. Find common ground. Find deep compassion in your heart to gain a greater perspective of humanity in this fleeting moment, in this timeline of your soul's existence, in the timeline of all that is, was, and ever will be. Yeah, Allie, it would all figure itself out. Exactly. Yep. Yep. Alex joke about home for me is where they feed me, and Allie says food has always been a way of sharing my love in my family. I think it's like that for a lot of folks. And Therese B says, yes, our love language too. Exactly. Exactly, yes. And how beautiful it is to have that base inside of us, guys, because seriously, some people don't, right? I've talked about this before, how there are people who are imprinted of, you know, that their mother, that there wasn't, you know, the figure, even if it was the father or someone who loved to cook for for their children, right? How some there are people right now who don't know how to do certain things of basic cooking. It's a clusterfuck. It's impossible to them. You know what I mean? Like they weren't gifted to be able to look at someone what they were doing since they were little to understand that love coming through, the goodness of how food tastes, right? You can actually warm up just a fucking like can of something, but that this is all that you have today, right? That day where you have, right, the can of soup, because that's what you got, and that you put the love in it versus opening the can, sticking it there, and not giving a shit. The immersion of what love is in food and how, right, the dynamic of everything with food starts from our childhood and the love language that our families had. For real. I thank Marble every single day for being in my life, my sweet little companion. I'm so thankful she's in my life. I love that name. It was weird because the other day I was in the bathroom and Lily was like, "Did you put a marble on the floor on purpose? Like a real marble, not
I
an
said,
animal.
did you lose your marble?
Did you lose your marbles?" And it like I know that it fell from something that I had, but it was just like really cool that like just boom, there it was, right? I forget where I put it. I got a bunch of marbles here, but
Don't lose them.
they're not the ones. That's a cool name for a pet. I love it, Allie. Allie says she isn't even always sweet. She runs the show. Tracy B says, has she accepted your singing, Allie? Boom. I was meaning to ask you, how did your guys' gig go the other night at the winery? Exactly, Alex. The where does milk come from? From the supermarket. Allie says, I think it pisses her off even more that it makes me laugh when she gets pissy with me over singing and she gets her tail to swishing. That danger tail. Yeah. Alex, time to go to sleep. Bye for now. Thanks for staying with us for so long, Alex. Me loves you. Fais des beaux rêves. Gotta go to Nicholas. Seek for sight. Have a good day. Much love. Thanks for the space, G. Y'all keep care. You too. Yeah, I won't be super much longer, but I'm still gonna stay just a little bit, maybe more. Oh, Alex, all I have is sheep shit. It is also round. Rawr. Kind of like a rabbit turd.
Yummy.
Let's talk about sheep shit. You can shovel
We
shit.
were just talking about food too.
I know, we go from food to sheep poop. I love it. I never know what's gonna come out of us over here. Yeah, we're not for the squeamy or faint of heart. Allie says it was fun to perform with Corey. It's probably our smallest turnout. Not surprised though. We filled in at the last minute and they were calling for freezing rain. Yeah, that's a whole other level. Was it fun though? Because I'm gonna say sometimes like the most epic parties I ever, was a part of, right? Being the hostess with the mostest, whether I was a barmaid or a restaurant owner or manager or just the girl that was, the one for the night. Some of those nights, because, right, the quality versus the quantity, even if there was only 10, 15 people, holy shit, you can party hard and have like such a good time, right? Cool, Allie. We did some songs on the fly we'd never done. They were requests, and we had a blast. Awesome. I love it. The imprint of all those, the ones that were there. Plus, the show was only 2 hours, in and out. Love it. Seriously, double cards again? Okay, go with it. Don't go with it. Go with it. Oh my gosh. Except for the Starseed cards, everything came out double. And I pulled a Starseed at the beginning and then just one. So I guess I got 2 no matter what. That's funny. And it was funny. You did this the other day. Was it you, Allie? I think. Yeah, because I haven't watched anybody else pull cards where it's 32 and 33, which is a huge fluke because I never... there's a few people that I know that, like they say, every time they use their decks, they put them from front to back, or they do certain things, and I am not that girl, right? So for 2 cards in a row numbers to come out, that is huge because there's no way these 2 cards were together before. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you're playing cards and you get an epic hand, right? Like playing poker or something, and you get 3 aces on the... There's no way that you got that with, anyways. Okay, I'm starting to lag and get hungry. I'm going to do these 2 cards and be wrapping up the stream. So card 32 and 33, quieting the mind and ears wide open. Almost knocked one of my teeth out. I'm fine. 32, quieting the mind. Meditation as a commitment, the need for silence, peace within despite the chaotic outer conditions, letting go of the monkey mind and mindfulness. Life is chaotic, busy, loud, frenetic, and overwhelming. Some days all that noise is like the roar of thunder echoing around you, and it feels like you're being pummeled by a rainstorm. Isn't this why we take vacations? To get away to somewhere peaceful. In spite of the surrounding din in the world, today, you need to slow down, find a bit of peace. Go ahead and take a deep breath right now. Make a commitment to be still, if only for 5 minutes. Count your breaths. Be mindful of every one of them. And know that you have all the time in the world to do the things that need doing. Everything is perfect as it is. Our core beliefs about the world originate in our thoughts and feelings, which then become our perceptions. If our thoughts are all over the place, this is how we experience the outer world. What if the outer world didn't matter at all? What if at our center there is a place that's always calm, where the mind doesn't have a million things to say, and where problems and challenges aren't nearly as important as we think they are? Today requires you to take an internal break and go to that silent place to regroup. Meditate on the stillness within. Choose a peaceful mind and nothing else. You'll be amazed at how everything falls into place once you do. And it's that thing of finding the stillness, right? Even if you check in with yourself, and even use an alarm at first on your device or something, so that every hour you consciously breathe for a minute, right? If you can take time to poke in on social media and scroll something, you can fucking definitely take the time to take care of yourself in a whole new other way, right? And sometimes having the reminder, did you breathe, right? Have an alarm that's named, did you breathe? You'll realize that you haven't. And then you won't need that after a while, right? When things become a habit, a pattern, a good one instead of a bad one, you don't need the reminder anymore. But sometimes doing the silly, weirdest things in order to coax yourself out of something, to bring yourself into something different, is really important and is life-changing. Because seriously, if you can take any time to go on anything that is on the internet, but you're not taking the time for yourself, wow, right? The realization of how little we actually take care of ourselves, but look outside of ourselves for the distraction. And often by going and looking and scrolling on something, we're not actually bringing ourselves into inner peace, we're bringing turmoil. So your day could be going just fine, and then you go check your Instagram and you see that fucking fear-based post about weather manipulation or this lockdown that's coming, food shortages, right? Holy fuck. You know? 33, ears wide open. Deep listening is a gift we give to others. Understanding someone else's needs, showing focused attention, tuning in to another and letting go of the ego's need to be heard. The world is constantly speaking to us and offering clues about what's really going on beneath the surface of things, and we all have the capacity to hear beyond the noise that reaches our ears. The challenge is when we feel misunderstood or unheard. When we feel insignificant, it's easy to over-explain ourselves in an attempt to get acknowledged. Now's the time to let all that go. Offer your attention as the great gift that it is. Stop multitasking. Stop checking your phone. Stop thinking of what you're going to say next and doing all the other things that keep you from connecting fully. Whenever we are in a state of chaos and distraction, paying attention to only some of what's being said, we lose the ability to pick up on everything, including that which is not being said. Deep listening is the way in which we immerse ourselves in the truth of this world. In this way, with ears wide open, we also open our hearts and mind to understand more than what is conveyed through the words alone. Opportunities arise from the subtle cues we miss when we are not 144% present. Purposeful, open listening is an act of true respect and intimacy. When you are in a space of receptivity, letting go of the need to be heard or to be right, you become expansive and alert to meaningful potentials. Right now, keep your ears wide open and you will find more than you were searching for. And that thingy is that So many people want to be heard, but do you listen? Right? But do you listen? Like the whole, like, sometimes I call it like a spiritual hijack, because it's like, be authentic, be yourself, speak up, make yourself seen, make sure you dance like a peacock and everybody sees you. And it's like, what the fuck? It is not all about that. It's about, like, sometimes shut the fuck up. Don't try to be the peacock that everybody's looking at, and listen. Right? Listen. There's so many people right now. I identify as this, and if you don't treat me this way, then you are racist. You are a troll. You are a hater. What the fuck? When did this even begin? Be yourself. Don't fucking try to cram it into me. Listen to what others need when you are working somewhere or in a certain public environment, and everybody's gonna have space, right? Everybody's going to have space. Everybody's going to feel seen and heard, witnessed. Stepping stones. That monkey song, I ain't your stepping stone. Love you too, Nova. Allie, ooh, that's true. And a great reminder, if you have time to watch YouTube and TikTok, you have time to take care of yourself. Exactly. And if you can separate that, right? Okay, I got 15 minutes. I'm going to put a timer for this much time. I'm going to put a timer for this. You might actually realize that, wow, this breathing, this coming into myself and this calm, I don't want that TikTok crap, right? I don't want it. Wow. After taking the time to take care of yourself and to breathe a bit, you realize that, wow, that stuff never made me feel good. It doesn't make me feel good. I realize all the time, and I still catch myself doing it, right? My first 3 to 5 minutes on Instagram, that's where my stuff is. That's the people that I truly look at, right? The certain people who post content about certain things. That's where my stuff's coming up. After I've seen those people, it's gratuitous fucking scrolling. There ain't much more, right? For me, anyways. Exactly, Allie. The war, the missing people, the drama, all that stuff. Yeah. Bye, Nova. Have a good night, sweetie. Allie says, Trace, I don't know why I feel compelled to tell you, but one of my customers got me a pair of earrings that are tiny garlic bulbs. They are so cute. Oh my gosh. I love it. Trace B, my daughter is doing a 21 fast from social media. That's awesome, honey. Yeah. I've done that over and over in the last years, and I never regret it. You don't miss the time, and you really realize to what point you're more productive or more serene, right? Allie, they look like real garlic in miniature. I love garlic. Allie's saying, what sort of fast? Juice or water? And Trace B specifies a fast from all social media, like not going on at all. Allie says, oh yes, from one of Queen Herbie's lyrics, most of all, we should learn to fucking listen. Yup. If you want to be heard, you gotta give that part. Because you know what I mean? Like, that's it. It's not even fair or even right. If you want to be heard, but you got to listen too, right? It's the give, the take, the wheel, the everything. Hi, Chris Maxwell. CMP. Identifies as an adult long enough to raise a family and my children to adulthood And then I quit pretending. Roar. Oh. How's it going, Max? Oh, Trey says to my daughter, what am I gonna do without you sending me TikTok funnies? I knew I recognized the energy when I saw Chris Maxwell, and I mean, if somebody's blue, it just means that y'all changed something about your channel name and stuff like that. Good to see you, Genevieve. Max Maximus here. Yeah, dude, how are ya? Thank you. This is one of my favorite shirts because it's got snappy buttons. Snaps, not buttons, I mean. Oh, Allie says, I'm only now understanding the sort of fast she's doing. Thank you. That's great. Allie, I did a whole technology fast a couple years ago. It was illuminating. Yes, Trace, the snap buttons. That's very important. Yeah. Snappy, snappy. Yep. And the thing too about doing the whole, like, you know, less internet, less social media, is that you really realize what you miss, right? So you really do know that what part you miss, right? You know that you know what you miss. When you love something, you let it go. When you're doing something and you're not sure where your patterns are, let it go for a bit. You will see, right? Anyways, I feel like I want to end with like an animal, and then I'm done. The technology, you didn't even have a clock to look at all that week though. That was the most difficult thing to acclimate to. If I ever do one again, I'll be set for time. I have a clock on the wall now. Yeah. And even sometimes, like, if the clock's not necessarily for the time, it's for the, like, the numbers. The numbers of it I would miss if I wasn't, you know what I mean? If I didn't have the numbers. Depending on, you know, when I'm grounded in my reality, I know what time it is without, I don't need the clock. You know what I mean? I know by the birds, the traffic, like where I am now. I know by my birds. I know by my traffic, what's around me, right? It sounds different on a Sunday in my neighborhood than it does on a Monday, for example. I would know it's garbage day Wednesday without even having to have a calendar, by the sound in the morning, by the visual looking outside that other people got their boxes out and stuff. But yeah. Max, I have an old Timex watch that's a wind up. It's my apprenticeship watch. I keep it around. It's always kept perfect time. It's just a little bit off each day now, and I don't think it's the watch. No, it's probably not so much as loopy with certain time stuff right now. And time has accelerated for sure. You know, take it if it resonates or don't, but in my awareness and many people that I speak to or that, you know, that I watch. Yeah, I became more in tune with my surrounding, especially relating to the time. Our body as well, right? What we're hungry for and stuff like that. Tiredness, needing water, I don't know. Boom. And I'm going to end just with the number 5, Bat Spirit. Send out the bat signals, babies. Bat Spirit, a rebirth is assured. And I'm just leaving it up. Sometimes I just like not like to decode or say anything about a card and get the syncs and the flow, what comes up for you, right? Watching. Boom. And that's it for me today. 162.40. Have a good one, guys.